Right. Good evening. My name is David, and I am running a session of Girl Underground this evening. Girl Underground is a recent game by Lauren McManaman and Jesse Ross, which is essentially it's a Powered by the Apocalypse game based on sort of stories like The Wizard of Oz, Alice in Wonderland, and other stories about a young girl being teleported to a strange and fantastical land where she encounters all sorts of weird things, has adventures, and learns a bit about herself. So yeah, that's the game we'll be playing this evening. It's really good. I would suggest you check it out. There should be a link below where hopefully you'll be able to find some more information about it. This game is being run as part of the Gauntlet Hangouts calendar. So the Gauntlet's an online role-playing game community, particularly focusing on indie role-playing games. That's everything from sort of like OSS stuff through to story games and pretty much everything else that isn't like big published works. As much as there is a difference between that sort of thing in the RPG industry. The community has a number of sort of different bits and pieces going on. So as I say, there's the Gauntlet Hangouts calendar where we organize online games where you can sign up and play with us if you feel like it. And there's always some cool stuff up there to look at. There's the a monthly gaming zine where we publish both new games or like settings and rules tweaks for existing games. So that's well worth a check out. There's a big family of podcasts with a load of back issues if you're interested in catching up with those. And finally, we have a forum where you can go to chat about games. So that's we're at all that can be found from gauntlet-rpg.com. And again, link below for that. Cool. So, as I said, tonight we'll be playing Girl Underground. In this game, our players will be coming together to tell the story of a girl and her journeys in a magical land. The way this works in this game is that the girl is created collaboratively between all of our players, and the players will get the chance to each will get a chance to play the girl at different points during the game. So she kind of is built up as a collaborative character between everyone. So the very first thing I'll do is just ask my players to introduce themselves. So as I said, my name is David. I use he/him pronouns. And I'll just go down the list. I can see people on my screen here. So, Pearl, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Pearl. I use she and her pronouns, and I am sleepy but happy to be here.
Thank you. And Ludo?
Hello, I'm Ludo. I go by any all pronouns, and I have a bit of a migraine, but as soon as the storm is over, it will probably go away.
Sorry to hear it. And yeah, I suffer from headaches when I get stormy as well. So I empathize definitely. And finally, Einar.
Hello, I'm Einar. I use he/him pronouns. I'm also a bit tired, but it's okay. Happy to be playing.
Yeah, it's a very Sunday afternoon sort of game. So I think hopefully everyone will have time. Always reminds me of when things like The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe always used to be on a Sunday tea time in England. So that was always a nice thing to end the weekend on. Well, yeah, I know Pearl's cheating by it being morning there still, but no, the first thing I'll do before I actually get into the game proper is just to go over quickly. We'll be using some safety tools this evening to ensure that our game is, proceeds in a way that's cool for everyone. So hopefully, because this game is essentially pitched for that sort of Wizard of Oz, Alice in Wonderland level of stuff, we hopefully won't get too far into any graphic gore or sex or anything like that, because it's not really genre appropriate. But we will still be using safety tools anyway, just to make sure that we don't go into anywhere uncomfortable. We'll be running under the auspices of the Gauntlet inclusivity policy, which basically just says we're all to sort of treat each other mutually with respect and kindness, and that's that. We we'll also be using. We've also had a discussion before we began about lines and veils. So these are sort of elements we want to specifically exclude from the game, and we have a list of that offline. Well, online, I guess, but that's a living document. So if anyone does want to add anything to that as we go through, please feel free to do so. If you can, just give me a heads up if you do, just so I'm aware. But feel free to add to that as we go on. We'll also be using a couple of tools. Mostly the script change tool by Brebo Sheldon. This is a tool that uses kind of remote control commands to control our interaction with the game, should it be necessary. These commands are all sort of essentially to bring us into a moment of out of character chat, so that we can kind of negotiate stuff going forwards. The most important of these, I think, is the pause command. If you want to just call out pause at any point, or just put pause in the chat, what that will do is we'll just stop whatever we're doing for the moment, and we'll just have a quick out of character discussion about whatever needs to be discussed. So it might be you want to say, I want to pause. I don't know if I like where the scene is going. Can we maybe change the direction of it, or do it slightly differently? Something like that. That's perfectly fine. Or it may even just be you just say pause. Can we just take a moment? I need to grab a drink of water or whatever. And that's also fine. So the most important thing is just that if we do call pause, we will drop out of character for a moment, just so we can actually have a discussion between each other about it. Then we have rewind. Rewind can basically be used if something's happened in the scene and you're not happy with it and you'd like to go back to before where that happened and just change where we go, so we don't cover that. Or it might be that you think, actually, I don't like the way that I phrase what I just said. Can I phrase it a little bit differently? Something like that. That's also perfectly fine. There's fast forward, which can basically be used to move us beyond something. So if, again, maybe say there's a description of I don't know, say the girl like crawling through a tunnel, and you think, actually, I'm not really, I've got a bit of a problem with claustrophobia. Can we just get to the point where she's got to the other end of the tunnel? I don't really want a big in-depth discussion of that. That's fine. Or it could just be, I think we're kind of done on the scene and we're just going around in circles. Can we just move on? And the last one that's I think particularly relevant to us today is just the frame by frame command. This is basically used if there's a scene where you think there might be some stuff come up that might be a bit more sensitive, and all that is basically just a flag to let us know that we'll move through that scene with a bit more caution. We'll pause every now and then to check in with each other, just to make sure that everyone's comfortable with it. We'll just basically go forward with a bit more care. That's what that one's for. There's a couple of other commands, but I don't think they don't tend to come up quite as often there. So the PDF is available there if you want to take a look at that. Finally, we also will be using the X card. The X card's a fairly simple tool just for stopping everything and removing details if there's stuff we don't want in the game. Can invoke this by holding up your hands in sort of X formation, by putting an X in the chat, or just saying, I'd like to X card that. What we'll then do is I might just quickly check in with you to see what it is that you want to X out of the scene. We'll make sure that content doesn't come up again. But you don't need to justify your decision for that. With that, the same goes for any of the sort of things you'd say on if you use like pause or rewind or whatever. I won't ever ask you to justify yourselves, but I just might ask for some clarification. So those are our safety tools. The other thing I will say, just as a particular point for in this game, because we are dealing with like this collaborative character, like always feel free to like check in with the other players out of character before you do something. So if you sort of think to yourself, oh, are people going to like it if I make the girl do this? Then just ask, just say, hey guys, are people cool if I make the girl do this? Just because we are dealing with that shared character, I think it's just particularly important to make those sort of things explicit rather than thinking it to yourself but pushing on regardless, sort of thing. It's always good to just clarify first. Cool. So with all that said and done, we will look at. So you'll see on the in the character keeper, there's a tab there called the girl. So what we have here is a series of questions, and we will answer those questions between us. and these will help us to kind of build up a picture of the girl. I'm just going to also delete a couple of bits from in here from last time. But yes, the first question is one for everyone for everyone to come together and answer between them. And this one is the girl's name. You'll see that this this question is framed as, if your family has love but no something, your name is something else. So, for example, if your family has love but no curiosity, your name is Cat. If your family has love but no money, your name is Penny. So if you would like to discuss amongst yourselves and see if there's one of those that you can all agree on, or there is also the option to sort of write in one if you want something different. If none of those names and lacks their appeal to you. But yes, does anyone have any initial thoughts on that?
I like the idea of not having time because she's going to be going exploring, and I like the idea of her wanting to take the time to really learn about her environment and meet people and do all these things that maybe she couldn't do at home because everything's rushed.
Cool. Yep. Yeah, Ludo, are you?
Yeah, I like the idea of time, and other than that, maybe Penny, for for similar reasons, that the girl had constraints that she's not going to be subject to on this exploration. So yeah, so I think I'm converging on that same line of. Yeah, there were some material limitations that the girl is no longer subject to.
Cool. Yeah, and Aina.
Yeah, time was my first thought as well.
Cool.
That was yeah.
No, cool. I was going to say, yeah, that sounds fairly unanimous then. So yes, if your family has love but no time, then your name is Patience. So cool. We've now got some more general questions that I'll go through, and I'll ask these ones to one player each, essentially. There's actually a couple of other points I did want to make at this stage. One of them is so as at the outset of the game, this game is always played with the assumption that with the girl as the main character. This is not to say that their gender is obviously in any way set in stone. It can change over the course of the game, or they can discover, have new insights to their gender and so on and so forth as part of the game. That's fine, but we always work from the assumption that they start off as a girl. That's one thing just to be aware of there. The other thing that I do want to actually I'll do before we go into the next section, because the next part, because we will it will kind of, I guess, it might help inform some of your responses to some of these next questions. But so the majority of the time that we will spend in this game will be spent in the underground, in the fantastical world. However, it's probably still a good idea for us to have like a common touchstone as to the world that the girl comes from. So the base assumption of this is sort of essentially it is our world, give or take, but we can either look at this as sort of historical, so we could go kind of Victorian. It could be more or less contemporary, or somewhere between those sort of two ideals, somewhere 20th century maybe, which I do have to remember was quite some time ago now. So yeah, does anyone have any particular preferences for the sort of time or the place that the girl comes from?
I like the idea of doing it sort of modern. time is a precious commodity these days.
Sure thing.
Yeah, I don't think like Victorian ages or the 50s time was much of an issue.
Yeah. No, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, we can go vaguely contemporary. It doesn't necessarily have to be like we're not going for any sort of particular historical accuracy or anything. But yeah, if we just say sort of vaguely contemporary, and that should be good enough. As I say, we'll spend a minimal amount of time in the real world anyway, so it's more just to give everyone a sort of an idea when we go through the next sort of steps. Cool. So I'm going to I'll start. I'll just go down the order I can see people on my screen. So Pearl, how does Patience wear her hair? And you'll see there's a list of options there. You can choose one of those, or you can write one in if you want to go for something different.
There we go. They're all quite nice, really.
Yeah.
I think I want kind of a combination, so maybe I'll write in another that combines two. I would like for it to be long, but soft like downy feathers. Unless that doesn't make sense to people. But I feel like if there were downy feathers, I would want there to be more of them.
Yep, no, that sounds fair to me. Cool. So Ludo, how does Pearl sound? Patience sound. Sorry, it's a problem with having two P names. How does Patience sound when she speaks?
Quick like a bolt of lightning.
Excellent. And Einar, what is Patience's prized possession? You'll see there's a few different options here, and then there's a little box underneath where you can give a bit more description about what it is in specific.
Yeah, I think it's a small fossil that she picked up when she was at the ocean. Probably an ammonite.
Excellent. And Pearl, what is Patience's greatest fear?
I feel bad wanting to write something in again, but I do.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's mediocrity.
Excellent. Yeah, that's good. Perfect. Ludo, what does Patience want to be when she grows up?
Patience wants to be because family life is always busy and running from one place to another. She wants to be someone that sets out other people's times, and on her age, that would be a parent and a teacher.
Cool. That's cool. And I'll just ask a couple of random questions now. So, Einar, what is trying to think how I wanted to phrase this. What is Patience's like family makeup like? Parents, siblings, that sort of thing.
She has well, just couple of women, a couple of mothers, and no siblings.
Cool. Yeah, that's cool. And Pearl, what do you think her parents do for a living? Oh, sorry, I think you're muted.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Trying to think of a good thing that would cause people to not have free time, to be like that busy, but not be like shuttling various children around to different activities because she's an only child. So maybe they are. Yeah, well, yeah. Maybe they are. Oh, I just had a thought and then I got distracted by the chat and it's gone. Oh no. Maybe they run a restaurant together and have to be there sort of to oversee things a lot of the time.
Yeah, that sounds cool. That sounds good. And yeah. Cool. Ludo, who do you think is Patience's best friend?
I would say their best friend is it's a friend that they have a craft that they have on a craft mind server, because it's the only person that they are able to actually get consistent contact with, because any play date is either governed by activities or very busy. And it's like, well, in Craftmind, I can just sneak around in the night, and no matter the time, we can make it too.
Cool. Excellent. Oops, hang on. Oh well. Awesome. And I think Einar. What does Patience like to do when she does get some free time to do stuff in?
Oh, sorry. When she gets free time, or what she does with her free time?
Yes, what she does with her free time. Yeah, when she does actually get some.
Yeah. Well, I think she really likes to play board games, but all she gets to play is like computer games. So she wants to play things in real life, but yeah.
Cool. That's nice. I think that gives us some stuff to be getting on with. So, the first thing we'll do is we will, anyone can start off by playing Patience. Decide amongst yourselves, and we will start with having a. In fact, no. What we'll do is I'll probably. it will I'll get someone to start playing her, and we will explore together and have just a little establishing scene in the real world, and then we will explore her entering the underground. Though I realise I've skipped ahead on one section, which is of course to set up the manners that govern being a girl and what girls should be. So you'll see again in the character keeper, there's some drop downs there for the manners. Now, the significance of these manners is that each of these is basically phrased as a sentence. Like, for instance, young ladies must always be grateful for what they are given. Is the first one on the list there. And these are things that that she as a girl is expected to do. Between you'll pick 8 of these in total. There are, I'll just very briefly explain about how these work now. There are essentially a couple of moves you'll see there in the girls' book. One of them is you can refuse to mind your manners, and this allows you to overcome a challenge by basically acting contrary to one of your manners. When you do this, you put a little check in the box next to it, and you write out a belief, which is something that you have learnt about yourself or the world by breaking this manner, and that belief is now something that can kind of govern you as you go forward. You'll also then, there's another move called stand strong in your convictions, which is basically when you face a challenge by drawing on your new beliefs, and that can let you achieve things as well. So that's essentially what the flow of the game is about. It's about coming up against these manners, breaking them, reforging your image of what it means to be a girl or to be Patience, and sort of writing those out and acting in accordance with those. So I'll again go through in order I can see on my screen. So Pearl, would you like to choose the first manner in that first drop down? This is quite a long list, so
yeah, I printed it out. So is it okay if I read it off my sheet?
Yep, sure thing. Yeah.
Then, only if I'm going to turn the fan slightly. So, ow! Sorry, my fan doesn't have a cover on the front, and sometimes I forget, and then it tries to chop off my hand. I'm going to go with. Sorry, I didn't know I was going first, and there really are a lot of them. You're right. Trying to go as quickly as I can, having been a girl and subject to some of these.
Indeed.
I'm going to say, I'm torn between a couple. So close.
You will get a chance to do at least one more. So if there's a couple you're interested in,
then I will say, where did it go? The one I liked. Hold on, I'll find it again.
No worries.
Young ladies must never put others in their place.
Excellent. Cool. Ludo, do you have one you'd like to bring in? I also, just again to reiterate what I did mention earlier, if anyone wants to bring in one that you're not sure you really want to have in the game, then again feel free to sort of speak up at this point. This is still, even though I'm asking kind of individuals for suggestions, it is still a collaborative process. So but yes, anyway, Ludo, are there any you want to is there one you want to add in?
Yeah, young ladies must always go by she.
Sure thing. Einar.
Yeah, young ladies must never soil their hands or clothes, just because restaurants need to be cleanly.
Sure thing. And Pearl.
I think. Let me find the other one. I should have just highlighted them. That would have been smart. I'm torn again. Why? I'm going to say young ladies must never complain about their duties.
Yeah, that seems quite fitting. Cool. And Ludo.
Young ladies must never shit.
What?
Shit.
Is that on here? Or are you just making it up?
No, it's there.
Cool. And
Oh, cheat. Sorry. I misheard and was wondering how that was anatomically possible. Got it now.
Young ladies must never speak in riddles.
Interesting. Cool. And yeah, Pearl, if you want to choose, if you don't want to choose another one, then we can pass it around. We need two more, but yeah, if you've got a third one you'd like.
Yes, I've already been fighting over which ones to put as it is. I'm going to say this is my last one, right? So I have to make it like
make it count.
Yeah. I want to make it not too close to the others as well, so that we have a lot to work with. I'm torn between two, and I might let people vote so that I don't hold up things too much, because I tend to do that. I'm torn between young ladies must always be grateful for what they are given. Young ladies must never take up too much space. I think those are the main two. There's also the question their place in society, but I feel like that kind of goes with some of the others. So
yeah. So yeah, what Einar, Ludo, what do you, which of those do you like, or do you like both, or?
Yeah, I think there's enough overlap on both of them so that if we pick one over the other, we'll not suffer much. But I think I prefer the second one slightly more.
was that taking up too much space or being grateful for what they are given?
Taking out too much space.
Okay. Can I ask
Yeah, I
a
prefer
clarifying question? It's not an argument. It's just like literally clarifying for mine. I don't, in my mind, see overlap much between the two. And I would like to be on the same page mentally with you about what we're talking about. So where do you see them being really overlappy?
Because the idea is the limitation is resources, and being happy with what she's given, or not trying to claim more space or more stuff than she needs to, or always be made conscious of that. I think on that sense there might be a bit of overlap. That's at least my interpretation, considering the context of patience and her life to establish so far. That's what I have on my mental picture.
Again, not as an argument, just to sort of get on the same page. Can I say how I see those two things?
Sure, go ahead.
I see them a little bit more literally, and that might come from my own experience. But the never take up too much space, I think of as being sort of a literal, like, find a chair and sit in it and whatever. Don't be a dominant force in a room, for example. And young ladies must always be grateful for what they are given, to me, says that someone else decides what's good for them, and they are supposed to be grateful regardless, whether it's a present or a job or whatever else. They are supposed to just be sort of obsequious and express gratitude, and deny their actual feelings about that thing. So I'm perfectly happy to go with not taking up too much space. It was one of my ideas in the first place. I just I thought it'd be cool to kind of all have an understanding of how we understood these manners, because I think there are cultural differences and differences based on what gender identity you had growing up and all kinds of things that if we're all going to be playing her at different times, we probably want to have some idea of how she feels about these values.
Yeah, I think for more literal, I actually prefer the first one for that she should be happy with whatever she's giving. If we are sticking to more literal interpretation,
It's I mean, technically we could use both, but it's somebody else's turn after mine, and I don't want to dictate that. I have found that I think the being grateful thing has come up more in my life than the space thing, but I am also short. So there's that. But yeah, the pressure to be grateful can be pretty intense. And to show that gratitude like really openly, to be almost like overly grateful, I feel is sometimes really intense for some women in some societies.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds like a good one. And Ina, would you like to choose the last one, or suggest the last one anyway, and see what people
Sure thing. Yeah, I kind of like the young ladies must always follow instructions. But what do you all think about that?
I was lucky to not grow up with that personally, but it is definitely a thing for other people. So I'm fine with that. There's so many, and they're all lovely. So,
yeah.
and by lovely I mean horrible, kind of, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I think we're doing well with the ones we have.
Yep, cool. I'm just struggling to find that the gratitude one, but I will.
It's the very first one on the.
Oh yeah, so it is. Yep, cool, perfect, awesome. So yes, in which case, yes. Now I will go back to where I started before I realised I'd forgotten the literal most important part of the entire game. So we will start by seeing patients in the real world and move towards her entering the underground. The important thing to be aware of is what's the word I'm looking for? Sorry. Basically, what will there will be a in the scene. There will obviously be a point where she moves towards entering the underground, and this is always done by breaking one of the manners and establishing our first belief as a result of that, and that will kind of set the context for her entering the underground. So we'll be kind of working towards doing that in a scene. So I think we will start off. It's a summer evening. It's probably coming up towards. It's maybe like not quite hit the the rush hour in the restaurant yet, but I think Patience probably lives in like a flat above the restaurant with her family, and things are busy downstairs in the kitchen with preparations for the evening's diners. Yeah, so I will go to Pearl. What do you think? What do you think that Patience is doing at the moment.
Bother. I missed a bit of the beginning of the setting because I was marking off what the manners things were so I wouldn't forget them. I apologize. But without knowing what you had just said, I imagine that she's probably chatting to her best friend on the. Is it written anywhere? Did we write the things down?
Yes. So yeah, she's probably playing. I'm
game.
just going to straight up say Minecraft because I will remember it that way around. Excellent. Yeah. Cool. So yeah, Ludo. What's she chatting about with her friend, do you think?
I think she is complaining that the summer went in a snap and she never got to do anything interesting. I mean, there was plans for them to go 4 days on the beach, and that was cancelled. So it was going to be closing the restaurant for a few days and then gone to the mountains, and they did not do that. And even going down to the city and get new stuff, even that they could not do. Yeah. So she is complaining that she really did not get to do anything. So it was either helping on the restaurant, doing work for school, or stuck playing the computer.
Sure thing. And I think at this point, there is a call up the stairs from one of her parents. It says, "Patience, dear, we're could you run an errand, please? We're all out of parsley. Could you run down to the greengrocer's, please?" So, Einar, how do you think Patience responds?
Really, Mom? I was just about to go on exploring a new biome here, a jungle.
Really, Patience, you spend all your time on that thing. Look, it won't take you more than 15 minutes. You just need to pop down to the greengrocers. I've already phoned ahead and checked that they've got some in. I just need you to run down there and pick it up. We've got the restaurant's fully booked tonight, and I don't have time to go down myself. So please, can you just do this one thing?
All right, I guess. How much do we need?
Just one box should be enough.
Okay, I'll use the standard card.
Cool. And yeah, so Patience heads off, and it's just a small town high street. I think it's a nice warm summer's afternoon. So the sun's starting to settle a little, but it's still got that. It's not full on sunset yet. It's just got that kind of slightly lazy golden glow over the town. Bees are buzzing in the flower boxes outside the houses as she walks past them. And I think that as she is walking along, she goes past just like a small park, and she spots a couple of friends from school are out, just playing on the climbing frame on the swings, and one of them will call out and say, "Hey, Patience, how are you? Want to come and hang out for a bit?" So Pearl, what does Patience do? Oh, sorry, you're muted again.
So I'm thinking that she likes the idea of socializing, but her moms will be too mad if she doesn't complete the errand. So she tells them that she has to get this thing done and is going to try really hard to come back and find them later if she can.
Sure thing. And she makes her way along to the greengrocers, and it's they're probably the guy there is probably starting to pack up for the evening. He's taking in the crates of apples and peaches and bananas from the stands outside the shop, and is moving them inside. And as he sees Patience approaching, he waves. "Oh, evening, Patience. Your mum called and said that you needed to pick some stuff up. If you just come inside for a moment, I'll fetch you out a was it parsley you needed again?" Sorry, yeah, Ludo, if you want to.
I don't know. Mom said that you know what it was, and it was already packed. And she seems frustrated. She said she called ahead.
Yes, I think it was parsley. She said, Just wait 1 minute. I'll fetch out from the back." And yeah, he wanders off to the back of the out through like the little back door into the back room of the shop, and you can hear kind of some like a big industrial fridge being opened up, that kind of sucking noise it makes, and shifting around of boxes in there, while the and it's got that smell inside the shop of like ripe fruit and vegetables in the air, and a moment later he'll come back through with like a big cardboard punnet full of cardboard tray full of parsley. And here you go, Patience. Was there anything else, or is that it?
Yeah, that was it. And Patience looks down at the parsley and she's like, I'm not sure if it was really this, but that's what she was told to do, and she's thankful that was given to her, and she just, yeah, it's right. That's it.
Good. Well, Well, take care getting back, and I guess I'll see you around sometime next week. And he sort of goes back to just like finishing tidying up in the shop. Cool. So Pearl, so Patience returns to just going to say Pearl, I know, but Patience returns to the restaurant, Oh, thanks, dear. Mum says, can you just put that down over over on the counter there, and it's just points sort of a space next to the sort of the veg prep station. Thank you for that. Would you mind just giving it a quick rinse for me, and then you can get back to whatever you were doing.
Sure, I guess. Could I just do it in these clothes? Do I need to put on the uniform first?
Yes, yes. Make sure you put on an apron that first, and wash your hands, obviously.
Yeah. Okay. Go over to the closet with the uniforms. What are the aprons, I guess?
Yep, and yeah, there's sort of neatly arranged, lots of like chef's whites and aprons and stuff hanging up neatly in rows in this cupboard in the corner of the kitchen.
Yeah, just take one out. I guess there's never one that quite fits me. That all of the aprons are like adult size.
Yeah.
But I guess I can improvise as well always. Yeah, tie it on. Go open the parsley or whatever. Give it a quick rinse. There's always some sort of stubborn little bits of dirt or something on it, and the faucet is all. It's it's one of those things where you try to flick it or try to open it carefully, and it just sprays all over, and the parsley gets sort of thrown out of my hands. And,
Try not to make too much of a mess, dear. Your mum calls over. She's like cutting up some onions, and ladling them into a container.
That's this stupid faucet. I told you it needs to be fixed.
Yes, well, I'm sure we'll get round to it.
Well, this. Not sure. As do we want to start sort of acting up a little bit, or I'm not sure. There's a
yeah. I mean, certainly feel free to start pushing for that when you feel ready.
Yeah, maybe. Well, how do you feel, Pearl and Ludo? This could be an opportunity for sort of telling Mom to that she actually needs to fix the faucet. Can't just ignore it. But then again, it's I'm not sure. You're muted, Pearl.
I'm just gonna leave myself unmuted unless one of you tells me I'm making too much noise, because this is ridiculous. But I think, and my camera's off now. That it's slightly more complicated because she's speaking to other women, whereas I think a lot of these manners have to do with like the patriarchy. But especially like two lesbian women running a restaurant, probably a little more progressive. But what I was thinking, based on the time thing we talked about, is that maybe she gets in an argument about wanting to go back with her friends. Like, they could segue out of this, the not fixing this, like, the things here don't even work, and I have friends waiting for me, and I don't want to. Something like that. I feel like a broken garbage disposal doesn't send you into like Narnia in my mind, but that's just me.
I hope not, because that sends a bad message to the kids.
But I don't mean to be like shooting down your idea, Einar.
No, that's why I was asking. Yeah. So she just gets back to picking up the parsley from the sink, trying to clean it up as best as she can, and puts it back in the place where she knows it belongs.
Thanks for that. Patience. You can run along back upstairs now if you want.
Yay. Well, I'm all wet, so I have to change. And I guess she changes her clothes, goes into maybe there's like a maybe there's like a cot or something, some place where she has if the restaurant is sort of also the apartment or the house, there's like a weird sort of back door or weird sort of cot. There's like a room that kind of doesn't make much sense either in terms of the restaurant or in terms of the rest of the house. It's just sort of happened to be there, sort of.
Yeah, just like a little box room sort of thing, or
Yeah,
something like that.
it's like you walk right out of the restaurant into something that looks like yes, this restaurant stuff there, but there's also like private stuff there, and she goes there because she has some of her clothes there.
Cool. So no, sorry, Karen.
Yeah, no, she goes into that room and just starts to pick through the clothes there. I'm not sure if she's very organized or it's probably quite messy in there.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah. So, Pearl, do you want to pick up from there? So, yeah, Patience is presumably getting changed. What do you think she's going to do after that?
I got distracted by the rather significant things happening in the chat, which I think are important to talk about. But so she's getting changed. And I apologize for again losing track of the speaking conversation because of the side conversation and things. Has she mentioned her friends to her moms yet?
No, not yet.
So I think that would be the next thing she wants to do, is at least broach the subject and feel out where they're at with it once she's fully changed.
Yeah, cool. So I think she can come back into the restaurant kitchen. Yeah, again, there's general prep work going on. Yes, what is it, dear? And the parent says absentmindedly while just sort of like, stirring some soup on the oven.
I ran into some friends when I was running the errand, and they invited me to spend some time, and I just haven't seen them in a long time, and I was wondering, if everything's under control here, if maybe I could just go out for a little while.
Oh, it's far too late now, Patience. It'll be getting dark soon, and
Maybe with other people, right? I never get to go out.
you could have been outside all day, dear, and I'm sorry. I think it's best if you just stay in tonight.
Right. Okay. That's what you think. Can I go up to my room and play my game then? Or did you need more help in the kitchen?
No, run along.
So I'm going to say that she does, and that she sneaks out her window.
Excellent. Yes, so I think that we see she sneaks out the window, and they said it's not particularly late at night, to be honest. It's still probably a couple of hours of decent light out, and but yes, and as she makes her way to the back to the park, she notices like her the friends she saw aren't on the swings where they were before, but you do just catch that like glimpse of something moving in behind, like in the sort of little copse of trees, just like that flash of color. It looks like maybe someone's shirt or something. You can definitely see like someone is back there.
And not one of the friends, I assume.
Oh, it could well be. You can't see like enough of them to be certain, but it's certainly possible that's who it is.
I think I'm going to stay out of the shadows, but then sort of call out to them like, hello? And hope that they're one of the friends. But I don't think I'm just going to go into the shadows after the mysterious person.
Sure, and I think what that there will be a call back, and you recognise will say, "Oh, hey, Patience, you came back. Yeah, we're just back here."
Oh, great! So I will go back to see them.
And as you sort of push, like it's the sort of like low hanging branches, like forming a little, not quite a like full on hedgerow, but and as Patience pushes her way through the branches, you can see a big, long, formal lawn with an old marble fountain set in the center of it, just sort of water trickling lazily down it, not coming out full force. And as Patience turns back around, the trees that she came through are gone, and instead there is a tall, high hedge, like a hedge maze, behind her. And that is where we will pause for now. So the next bit we'll do is we'll take a 10-minute break here, and then the next bit we'll be doing, which, so if you want to start getting a heads up on this, you can do so. But the next thing we'll be doing is to pick our companions. So if you want to be having a quick flick through those companions while we're taking a break, then feel free to do so. But we'll go through them in detail when we get back, and everyone will be picking one companion. And there's a little bit of character creation stuff with them. There's not much with those, but there's just a few details to pick out. So if you want to start having a look at those and thinking about them, that's cool. It said we'll take about a 10-minute break here, and then we will carry on. So I will. Awesome. So the one thing we didn't do before at the end of that last scene was we have broken the girl's first mana, which I think in this case, the one that leaps out to me, obviously feel free to suggest otherwise, but I think the one that we probably broke here was sorry, I'm having difficulty shifting between. Right, cool. The one that we probably broke there, I think, is young ladies must always follow instructions. So what we're going to do now is just between the three of yourselves, you're going to come up with a new belief to replace that mana. So beliefs are something that, as I said, it relates to either patience or the world around her, and represents something that she's learnt as a result of breaking that mana, or something that now defines her as a result of breaking that mana. And rather than being phrased as like young ladies must blah, this can be much more personally focused. I will always do this, or patience, or just the phrase more generally as well if you want. So I guess the first thing is, does everyone agree that we're probably looking at young ladies must always follow instructions here? Yeah, cool.
My only question about it would be if this was a significant enough incident to have changed her significantly. Like, is this the first time in her life that she's said something like that to her parents?
You're not going to the underworld, so we're gonna have to retcon that.
I don't think we need to retcon anything. I'm just trying to get a clear picture of how everything's working. Right now, I don't have a clear picture of who she is, what she believes, what she's fighting against, other than the time thing. Like, I just don't quite feel like I know and I want her experience and growth to make sense to me so that I play it in a way that makes sense to you all. So I'm just trying to ask questions so that I can figure it out.
Yeah, I don't have like a super clear sense either. And I guess we sort of play to find that out, right? But my sense was, my sort of assumption was that all of these sort of manners are things that she basically have been defined by until now, and so if she so that they, just not following in the instruction, however that we that plays out, that is a significant event. So if that so we should sort of interpret it as a significant event, because it was used to trigger that move this time. So and I think it would make sense that she has sort of maybe sort of teetered on the edge a little bit. Her mother, I'm sort of getting the sense that she has been bossed around a lot, or she has been asked to do a lot of chores. There's a lot of help that needs to be done in the restaurant, and I'm not the sort of patriarchy thing. It can as well be enforced by women who are sort of in the system, right? Or and just the values, right? So even though she has like two mothers, it might be that they expect her to behave in the same way that they have always behaved or been expected to behave, right? It's always following or doing exactly what you're told to do, probably, and that's how they managed to make a restaurant. Or you have to work really hard, right? So I'm guessing this is sneaking out of the window sounds like a big deal to me.
Yeah, that sounds like a big deal too. I'll figure it out as we go.
Yeah.
I just need to put it together in my head.
Yeah, and yeah, that's sort of what Einar said as well. I think the is obviously as like play of her passes around, you'll slowly start to build up a picture of what she is like just through how she is portrayed by different people in the different scenes, and obviously things you will obviously be facing challenges that push on those manners as you go through. But yeah, so yes. So yeah, what belief do you think you'd like to replace? Young ladies must always follow instructions with.
Given the context, I have a suggestion. That if you don't know someone, you should not make rules for them, because I guess that is kind of what is happening. Her parents decided an arbitrary rule that they think it's good to her because she should not be outside, but she knows what is better for herself, and clearly their parents have been a bit lacking on that. I don't know, just a suggestion.
I think maybe something similar. I don't necessarily get that her parents just don't know her. Like they could be overprotective. They could, parents are whatever they are about their kids. But what about something like follow instructions if they make sense and that's a good wording. Follow instructions when you believe them to be correct and necessary and ethical. But make your own choices ultimately. Something better worded than that.
Maybe even just something as simple as decide when you need to follow instructions, or
just maybe seem to put it simple. Do not follow instructions blindly, maybe, so that she has to think if she should follow or not. Maybe something simpler like that.
Yeah. Make choices in line with your own beliefs. I think there are a lot of ways to say it, and they're all fine.
Yeah, so I was thinking something like there are limits to what others can demand of you.
I like that too. Did we take the demands manners thing? I don't think we did, so it wouldn't be.
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, no, that would be cool. I think, maybe, that sounds like a good one to me. If you want to write that in, Einar, that'd be.
Sure thing.
Sorry, didn't realize I muted myself there. So the other thing I will just point out as well, actually, just before we get into the companions, because this also is relevant to the companions. But you also notice, in the case of the girl sheet, you'll notice just down below the moves there's a list of things that say when you portray the girl, try to do the following. And there's a few different bits and pieces there. So those are quite worth having just a quick look over, and just those are the sort of things you want to try and be doing, and those will kind of push you into your moves and into triggering stuff with your companions. You'll notice that each companion has their own sort of list of those sort of suggestions, instructions as well. And speaking of companions, I will do a very brief introduction to each of those now. Then we will see which ones people are interested in. So you have the beastie. The beastie is essentially a talking animal, and their particular focus is on dealing with authority. The construct is all about is essentially some form of creature that has been brought to life from an inanimate object. So sort of it could be like a classic sort of golem type thing, or the Tin Man or something like that. And they tend to focus on what it means to be a person, that sort of question. There is the Faun, who is half man, half something else. Whether that's your classic, half man, half horse, or half man, half goat type of situation, or whether it's something a bit more esoteric. And they kind of play about with being, caught between two worlds. You have the mythic, who is a mythical creature of some sort, so something like a dragon or Pegasus or some other thing. The three important factors about them are that they should be capable of flying, but currently can't, and they are the last of their kind, whatever their kind is. And they deal with a lot of stuff around kind of legacies and power and sacrifice. There is the ogre, which is an ogre, a large creature of some kind. And they deal with a lot of stuff around sort of basically balancing, sort of taking up space and sort of becoming and not wanting to be necessarily the center of attention, that sort of thing. And finally, there is the Runaway, who is another child that has fled into the underground, but has been here for a longer time than the girl. And they sort of focus both on like adventure and excitement, but also specifically running away from things. And this is your kind of like Peter Pan type archetype. So does anyone have any thoughts on which companion type they would like to play?
I am leaning towards the beastie or the mythic.
Cool.
The one that immediately springs to mind is the ogre.
Awesome. Because the ones I was looking at were the construct, the fawn, and the runaway. So
yeah.
Right.
So everyone can easily have their first choice, I think, without any fear of overlap.
So should we fill out?
Yes. So sorry. If you once you've decided which one you want to take, there'll be a few prompts on there. It's not quite as in depth as a girl character sheet, but these are they'll generally be prompted for sort of a name and some other features and identifying things about you. The possibly the most important thing is what state you're in when the girl finds you, because this will kind of inform the next scenes we run, because essentially the next 3 scenes we run will be somebody playing the girl, discovering one of the companions, and forming the party, as it were. So yeah, if you want to start filling out those for the ones that you want, we will then get into the introducing each of the companions. Well, we'll first do a quick introduction of each of the companions to each other, so we know what we're looking at, and then we will do the scenes to bring them into the story. I will also at this point mention, I kind of alluded to this already, but there is The girl playbook has a move called merry-go-round, which is basically when you wish to introduce your companion to the scene, or you wish for someone else to have the spotlight pass the girl playbook to another player of your choosing. They are now the girl. So this is how kind of we will circulate the girl playbook once we are in play proper. So obviously for these first couple of scenes, somebody will start off playing the girl who will discover one of the other companions. Then the girl can pass off the girl playbook to one of the other players. We'll find the next companion and so on. Cool. So yeah. I'll give everyone a moment to make their choices. But when you're ready, just let me know, and then we'll do a brief introduction.
Should there be a place to put the player name on the sheet, or does that get filled in somewhere else, or do we just remember each other?
Oh, I don't think there is actually a slot. So yeah, no, I think we'll just remember each other's.
Okay. Can we maybe hide the sheets that aren't in use?
Yep, I'm just checking through. So yeah, cool. Just seeing which ones people do have filled in. So I'll hide the rest. Awesome. So I think it looks like we have mostly got our choices made there. So I'm going to now go through in order of the character keeper. So first we have the fawn. If you would like to introduce our fawn.
I don't feel like I know who it is yet entirely. Can someone else go first just so I can hear how people are doing these introductions? Sorry, I don't mean to be troublesome. I just don't have a concept yet that's fully formed. I mean, unless like I can go first if no one else is willing.
I can go. So Braglaga is an ogre. It's obviously very, very big. Very, very frightening, very scary. But they are quite insecure, quite sad, because nobody understands them. They only want to be kind and gentle, and that's what all the other ogres picked on Braglaga for when Braglaga was young. Braglaga generally gets about by trying to hide and failing miserably. They they've always had the fondness for pretty things, pretty clothes. Or clothes is probably a bit strange. It's more like putting things on their body, which is sort of sticky. So whenever they sort of pick something nice, they find something nice, they just stick it on their body and it sticks there. It's and it's quite lovely. She thinks, or they think, but it's it's quite obvious. They look like well, depending on the angle, they look like just a lovely collection of stones and trees and the nature things from another direction. They look like a bit like a patchwork. Yeah, and they only crave understanding.
Awesome. Yeah, and whoever wants to go next can.
So I'll be playing Ersyniess, the Mythic, and they are the first thing that you notice upon looking at them is the long, flowing, imposing bane, bright and burning like the sun around its feminine monkey torso and its lioness body that ends in a monkey's tail. And they are the last of the sphinxes. And they remember the lost kind and their wisdom and their cleverness and riddles with reverence. And as the last of their kind and last of the stewards of their legacy, they see themselves as the guide to the lost and as a voice of support to the lonely. They hope to find the truth about themselves and their people on this voyage, and the girl finds them hiding in shame because someone beat her uh, on their riddles, and not only that, stole the ability to make riddles from them. So they are hiding in shame because they feel that now they are a foolish creature that is not fit to help others find themselves.
Very
Awesome.
neat.
Thank you.
I should be introducing the fawn. The fawn's name is Ember, and they use any pronouns, but I'm going to use she at the moment because it's an easy default for me, since it's what I use. She is a being made of clouds, and he's just looking for joy everywhere. That's really all that Ember wants is joy for her and for everyone else. So she finds it hard to resist a lovely singing voice, especially if she can sing along in harmony, because that kind of companionship is sweet. She wishes she could transform into a majestic beast. Since she's a cloud, she doesn't have a lot of substantialness to her corporeal body. And she envisions like being something with big wings that she could use to fly and also to enfold people in, and all the softness of the feathers and all these things that she just isn't. What she needs that this journey will give her is a real reason to celebrate. I think she's finding all of her sort of frivolous pursuits not to be the kind of meaningful joy that she wants. And so she's hoping to find something truly worth celebrating, preferably with other people. I don't know if I should say where the girl finds me, or if we should like let that be part of the play. I don't know if it's like spoiling the surprise. I'll just say it. So the girl's going to find Ember when she's in a sideshow act. She decided one day that a possible way of finding joy was to run away with the circus, since they all seemed like they were having a good time. And she generally she seems to see things from a different perspective than most, and gets carried away easily and feels things really deeply and passionately, and wants to try everything, every experience, because one of them is going to be better than all the rest. But she can't ever stop trying them, because even the one that seems like the best could not quite be if something better's out there. So she's going to rush headlong into anything that seems lovely, even if it's a bit dangerous or something like that. I think that's Ember.
Awesome, thank you. So, yeah, as I mentioned, with the first few scenes we'll be discovering each of these companions and helping them overcome their initial starting problems, and forming a party to travel together. So my first question will be, who wants to start playing as the girl?
If no one else wants to go, I can go.
Sure thing. So, I'll just give. Yeah, no. So,
sorry about that.
No, it's okay. Yes. So, cool. Yeah, we will sort of pick up where we left off before. So, Patience has just come through this like copse of trees in the park to find herself in the middle of, like I said, what looks like the lawns of a stately home. There is as I said, there's kind of a big marble fountain up ahead that's got water just sort of trickling down over it, but like I said, it doesn't look very lively at the minute. I think you probably can see like like the gardens continue on for some ways, but you can probably see like a building up in the distance. So yeah, what does Patience do?
Oh, this is tremendously exciting. Obviously, she goes right up to the fountain and tries to sort of run her hand through the water.
Yeah, so the it gets fountain. So the water's just kind of trickling down, and the water that's actually the water as you feel it, it's cool to the touch. but it's sort of refreshing in the heat of the afternoon. The actual pool itself seems a little green and slimy, as so there doesn't seem to be a huge flow of water here. But a big bullfrog sits on a lily pad that's growing in the pool. And it will look Patience up and down and say, hello, who are you and what are you doing here?
Oh, that's funny. I was just going to talk to you, and I'm sorry. I'm being very rude. I'm just not used to animals talking, I guess. My name's Patience. I'm not sure why I'm here. Yes, I wanted to be outside. And I followed the opening.
Well, my name is Archibald, and yes, it is a rather pleasant day. But I can't say we get many young girls like you running through here, but well, I suppose welcome.
Thank you. Are you the owner of this place then?
No. We just passing through, really. I suppose there must be an owner. I suppose, but I don't really know who would do that sort of thing.
Who would do that sort of thing? What do you mean? Building?
Own this place. It's just always been like this, I think, as far as I know, anyway.
Oh, okay. Do you mean it's like abandoned?
I suppose you could look at it like that. Undiscovered, maybe, or well, no. I suppose we're both here, so I suppose it has been discovered, but.
But should we discover it more? Then it seems like a shame to just leave it.
Well, I'm quite content where I am, to be honest. I've got my lily pad. There's plentiful fires. The water's cool.
It does look awfully nice. It's must be nice to have all this water around you all the time. All the water I see is just the stupid broken faucet.
Well, honestly, I could sit and chat all day, I suppose, but do feel free to run along if you want to explore further. As I said, I'm quite content where I am, but the grounds of this place seem quite large, and I've heard there's a rather nice tea shop just up the road.
A tea shop?
Myself. Yes, indeed.
Well, some tea would be lovely, I suppose. I think I'll just have a quick look inside the house and then I'll go to the tea shop. I don't feel like it's quite been discovered without taking a look inside.
Yeah, sure thing. So yeah, I think as you head over to the house, it looks like it has been it's in fairly good repair, but doesn't have a very lived-in look. And I think, if this is okay with you, Ludo, you'll notice like up on the roof, there's like a few big like gargoyles up there of carved from stone, until you notice that one of them doesn't actually appear to be carved from stone, but appears to be covered in a resplendent golden mane.
Wow. That is pretty. Oh. Oh. Hello there.
And suddenly, massive owl wings rise and just cover it. And it covers, and there is a curious eye skirting around.
Oh. You look amazing. Excuse me, do you talk as well?
Should that bring me better if I did not talk for what I have to say?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be rude. I I've never seen someone with such wings as yours before.
We are gone from this world, and I must hide my shame here on this forsaken home.
Your shame. Oh, what could you have to be ashamed about?
I'm a fool. I let myself be tricked, and the worst part is I don't even remember how. All the knowledge that has been passed to me by generations and generations of my kind, all the ways that I could help those lonely like myself, it's all gone now. It's only me, miserly, and unable to help anyone in this world. Why cannot I just fade away like a memory? Please, they will remember me like I was.
Oh no, you mustn't fade away. I would hate that. Uh, um, what? Is there anything I could do to help?
There is a way. No, it's foolish.
What? No. Come on, tell me.
All the best moments of my life have been asking people how they feel, how can then reason they can look at maps and find themselves, how to seek answers within themselves and in the world. And oh my god, the riddles, how much I love the riddles. But I cannot ask you to make some riddles. It's hard. That's impossible. It's secrets lost to me. Cannot demand other to do this, to do what I failed to do myself. Oh, I told
Riddles.
you it was foolish. Please let me cower in my own ignorance and
No,
foolishness.
no, no. Please, dear. What should I call you?
My name is Ersyniess. I am
Ersyniess.
the last of the Sphinxes.
A Sphinx. Oh, Ersyniess. My name is Patience. Um, riddles. I love riddles. Why? And if it really will help you, well, well, let's make up some riddles.
You cannot just make up a riddle and Ersyniess is like, wait, can you?
Sure, you can. I think. Isn't there are riddles, and someone must have made them, right?
Yes, but I thought riddles came from life and experience. That one
Oh.
observes a riddle, but one does not make it.
Wow, that sounds really deep. I'm not sure if I'm wise enough for that.
Well, can you at least do this stupid being a favor and try? I mean, you piqued my interest and you raised my hopes.
Yes, I sure will. If you will do me a favor in turn.
Oh, please tell me, I'll do anything.
Just don't fade away while I'm working, while I'm before I come up with my riddle.
And Ersyniess, they fly down from the gargoyles and they sit on the posterior legs and they recoil the wings and they look like a curious monkey looking at whatever patience is doing, just occasionally licking the mane.
And I think we have like a short montage of patients sort of trying to sort of scribble on some paper, trying to come up with all the riddles she can. Why is a house like writing this? Oh no, that makes no sense. Why? And yeah, I'm after a long and sort of frustrating time, she's going to just sort of pound her fists against the door of the house, and I want to merry-go-round. I want to sort of yeah, I want to introduce my companion, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, you can pass your
And,
you can pass the girl playbook to another player.
Yeah. So Pearl, are you up for it? You're muted again.
I could try.
Awesome.
So as the girl, as Patience pounds on the door, we hear just a little sort of grunt, like, and I'm not sure how Patience reacts, but it will quickly become apparent that this house, it's actually well, it's a house, but it's only a part of a house, and it sort of it sticks onto it's it's like a facade, and it starts to move a little bit when Patience hits the door, and you hear like little oh mm, oh that it just, and see like a gigantic hand come down from the sky, or maybe it's from beyond the house, and it's sort of, it's a huge finger that just pokes in just right at right at the sort of at the end of the facade, and it just scratches a little bit, and the entire facade just tilts, and then the earth sort of rumbles a bit, and you see this just gigantic being stand up, and you see the facade is just a piece sticking to its leg, their leg.
Do they still have a hand and finger outstretched?
Yes, I think they have. They're sort of with their back to you. But they're probably like looking over at what caused this little commotion, this little itch.
So I think I would like to like take the end of the finger and shake it like I was shaking a hand. Like, hello, how do you do?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you there. Oh, oh, I'm doing very, very well, thank you. Or actually, I was sort of hiding.
Hiding? What could scare someone like you?
Oh, well, I'm very scared of. Oh no, I don't want to say it. You're just gonna do it again. You're just gonna do it.
Do what?
Well, but the laugh at me.
Oh, I can't imagine that.
What? Really?
There's nothing funny about someone being afraid.
But
oftentimes there are good reasons for it, but you shouldn't laugh at someone for being afraid. Everyone's afraid of something.
But what about for liking to put nice things on my body? And they sort of point to their chest, stomach area, where there's like a there's just there's like a tree that's just stuck to it, and there's a bird's nest in that tree. There's lots of colorful birds that live in that tree. My friends always laugh at me for putting strange things on.
I think it's lovely.
Well,
birds sing such pretty songs, and they bring treasured things back to their nests, and now you've made them a little safe home. Place to grow.
That is that's 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 exactly what I would wanted to tell them. Oh, you're
Birds are the best friends. Oh, I miss flying suit with the birds. They are the best companions. They have such amazing songs to share.
oh
Are the birds in the nest singing?
yeah. I think they're singing a lovely song, and
Yeah.
uh, and the Braglaga is sort of humming along to it. And, it's very out of tune, but
That's okay. Shall we take a moment to join? I'm speaking to Ersyniess now. To join Braglaga. Blah, I need more water. Cannot move my mouth. Braglaga and just enjoy the song of the birds. I think it's very pretty.
Oh, that will be lovely, but it's way more than I deserve. But
Everyone deserves moments of beauty.
yeah, and I'm so thankful to have company. So I can only be delighted on this moment. Please, please, Braglaga, join us in song. Marry
oh,
with us.
this is oh very very uh, very nice. Uh, I but oh I didn't know you you lived here, uh, Ersyniess.
If you can call my existence living, yes, I've been haunting these halls, having a soul companion, the gargoyles.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so
And
sorry.
now you have us. I don't even know where I am. It's nice to make friends when you don't know where you are.
Oh, I wish I could tell you, but I'm just as lost. I used to be a guide, and now I cannot even tell you what this land is called.
But that's okay. It's still better to be lost with someone else than by yourself, I think.
Well, why don't we marry today and then we make the plans to where to take it? Because honestly, I'm getting tired of this house. It's dampening and I can barely stretch my wings.
Well, perhaps the three of us should head off to another place. What do you think, Braglaga?
Oh, oh yes. Uh, do you? And where do you want to go? It's such a big world out there. Uh,
Well, without knowing where I am, I can't very well know where I'm going, can I? I wouldn't know what direction to head out, but we could pick the one that seems nicest and just start walking.
oh, I never thought of that. I I'd love to do that.
That's definitely a new way to do things. I'm curious.
Then let's be off. We can even link arms, and then we'll know that we're together as a team.
Yes, linking arms. My arms are very big though.
Maybe I could just rest a hand on one of yours. Or
Oh
I
yeah.
could hold on to your finger, the finger I shook when we first met.
And Ersyniess is looking at their paw. Fingers. Hmm.
It doesn't have to be the same for everyone, right? We'll just find the best ways.
Are you sure? Doesn't it have to be the same for everyone? That's what that's what everyone says.
Well, everyone's wrong. Nothing ever has to be the same for anyone. I
Oh,
mean, Think about what you ate for breakfast. Do you think everyone else ate the same thing for breakfast?
No, that would be strange.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
everyone can't be the same all the time.
Oh, you're right. Everyone can't eat the same mountain all the time. That will be very strange.
So why don't we link up however we can manage with our various appendages? And let's go find an adventure. What do you say?
Oh, yes, an adventure. It's like a riddle, but you live through it. Yes, let's go
Exactly.
into an adventure.
Perfect. So I think we head off and I will pass the girl playbook off to Ludo.
Awesome. So yeah, you continue walking. You leave this sort of manicured garden, bringing at least some of the house with you, I suppose. The there's a path that continues and winds on through some trees. The trees are the trees themselves seem to have bright flowers growing in them, almost like a bouquet of flowers, but in tree formation that line this path that you're following it down. And brightly coloured petals drift off and sort of carpet the floor in front of you as you're walking. You continue walking a little further, and you can see up ahead what does look like a kind of a small cottage almost, but it's got a sign outside with a brightly painted teapot hanging from it, but before you reach this building, you'll notice there's a cluster of tents, brightly coloured, and there is one much larger tent. It looks like a big top, and as you approach, there is an elephant stood outside by the big top, dressed in a fine red coat and a top hat. And as you approach, he trumpets. Roll up, come and see the greatest show on earth.
What is this? Patient asks, curious. I never see something like this.
Oh, this is the circus, isn't it?
A circus? I never heard about it. Is that the place with all the clowns? I'm not a big fan of clowns.
Oh, but they do have tiny elephants.
Indeed, we have clowns, we have performers from all over the world, and strange creatures of the sort of which only tales have been told until this very day, when you can see them with your own two eyes in this, the Elfinrude J. Happerblaps Magical Circus.
I wonder what in this land counts as a fantastic creature. I am curious about what do they have. Do we have time to see this? If my friend Braglaga cannot fit and see the show, I have no interest on the event.
Well, we have all manner of attractions here that I'm sure you can feast your eyes upon. Please look around. He gestures expansively with his trunk. to indicate the various booths and stalls and attractions set up around the big top. Yeah. So, in fact, do you want to each name me a particular act or performer or something that we see here?
So I guess there is a hall of bottomless pits, which it's just holes in walls and grounds, and you see small animals throwing themselves into them and then jumping out of another, never seeming to slow down, and defying laws of physics.
Awesome.
So there are these. It looks like it's like two armies facing off against each other, and it's like a huge play or a spectacle, and they're off on each side of this field of battle with their swords and lances, and then as there's the generals on both sides shout charge, they all start throwing their weapons and start juggling them like in a huge juggling across all the swords and lances, and it's all very improbable and very impressive, and it looks extremely dangerous.
Nice.
And for those who are less inclined to see the juggling of swords and things, if they are a bit nervous, off sort of opposite, there's a West Side Story dance battle happening. Only one side, all the people are under a foot tall, and on the other side, all of the people are over 8 feet tall, and they have like very carefully constructed and well executed routines, and they are facing off, and people are watching enraptured, wondering whether or not they will manage. And there's the people on each side cheering for each team. But we don't know whether this is an ongoing rivalry or just a stunt right now. Just that it's delightful.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah. And as you're taking in the sights of the sideshow, I think you'll come across one particular tent where Pearl, do you want to describe how we see Ember in their show, or in their display, whatever you want to call it?
I actually think Ember would be watching the dance battle with delight. Like, she works with the circus, but I think she does odd jobs and occasionally performs something she's picked up, but she doesn't have like an official routine. She's kind of she maybe a warm-up performer sometimes, and a planted audience participant other times, and just wherever she's needed. And right at the moment, she hasn't been needed, and so she is just clapping her hands with glee at the dance battle. And several times you see her sort of start to get up because she wants to dance with them so badly, but then like holding herself back because they are clearly doing choreographed routines that she would be disrupting. But you start to get the feeling that if nobody stops her, eventually she's just going to barge out onto the field and start dancing.
What is that? I'm sorry, what are them? And patient approaches Ember. Oh, you are magnific.
Why, thank you.
You're really a wonder among this wondrous place.
That's high compliments indeed. Have you seen the dancers?
Oh, they are fantastic, but they are talented. You're
Yes.
unique. I never saw something like you where I come from. Well, even here you seem quite remarkable.
I don't know about all that. I don't think I've ever seen anything like you here either.
Well, I wish I could say that I have some grand tale of it to tell about, but my only virtue is existing.
Is which thing?
Existing.
Oh,
That's
existing.
all. Yeah.
Existing is quite the adventure. But I think I need more than just existing. Would you like to dance? Maybe if
Oh, I
we
would
dance off
love
to
to
the side?
dance.
Let's
Oh, I
dance.
love to dance. I always wanted to dance, but there was never time.
Well, we have all the time in the world now. As long as we stay out of their way, I'm sure nobody would mind. You there, big fellow, you look like you must have some delightful moves. And the birds could sing
Oh,
a song for us to dance to.
oh, yes, but I'm afraid I would step on somebody. These dancers are awfully tiny.
Well,
Oh,
you're just
please
going to
dance
dance with the
with
two of
me,
us.
Braglaga, please.
Well, since you ask so nicely, I guess I must.
Yes, yes. And Patience shekels as she uh, throws herself at Braglaga, where she's moving her feet in the air, but they are clearly meters above it. So
Yeah, and Braglaga is very gently sort of uh, holding her, shaking, stepping all over.
And
I think.
Ember is dancing wildly and flailing about just in circles around the two of them and giggling hysterically.
And birds are flying all around.
Such fun. Look, we've created a spectacle by accident.
Uh,
I can see my moms telling each other that if we are creating a spectacle, we should be asking money for it. That we should not be doing anything for free.
But we're doing this for us. Do you think we should pay each other? I don't
Well,
have much, but I have a scarf and
oh,
I have these two rocks that I picked up the other day that looked like they just belonged together, I thought.
I have this bag of gold that I stuck to my head one time. You can have
yeah,
this.
but I don't want gold. What good is gold if we have to stop to dance and then I have to carry some stupid, ugly, heavy rocks? No, if we have to pay to each other, let's play each other with more dance. Unless one of us can sing.
I'd like to sing.
Oh, I would love to hear you sing.
What kind of music do you like?
Ah, I like SoundCloud rap.
You like
Wow.
sound cloud rep.
Yes.
I don't know that we have that here.
Well, to be fair, I only hear it from my friends. I don't actually listen to it. My moms don't think it's proper music
Maybe you could
for
sing
someone
some
my
for
age.
me, and then I could take your lead.
Well, we can just invent it and say that's what SoundCloud is.
I don't see why not. Is that what you'd like?
Yes, yes. Let's make it our own
Okay.
thing.
But we're still going to dance, right? I was enjoying the
Yes,
dancing bit.
yes, yes.
And the birds will help us. What kind of thing are you, if I wanted to sing about us? I've met ogres
Oh,
before.
well, if we're gonna get the 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 birds to dance with us, we should sing about the birds, something that will make them comfortable with us.
Oh, I want to put us all in. The birds, the three of us, and even the set. I want to paint a picture of this that we can remember forever. Are you a changeling? Are you what's what are you?
What's the same changeling? Are you a changeling?
I'm not a changeling. I'm a fawn.
Okay. So are you a fairy?
No, I'm a fawn, silly.
Okay, but what is a changeling then?
Well, as far as I know, fairies are very secretive about these things, but they take their children and they swap them with someone else's children. It sounds very confusing, but you
That
seem
sounds
very
like a mess.
confusing, which is why I thought I would ask.
Well, if you don't know for sure what is a changeling, and I don't know what is a changeling, I may be a changeling. I will not mind if you call me a changeling, but you can call me Patience.
Okay, that's not really a kind of thing, but we can make it work.
I mean, it's me. I'm a kind of thing. I think that's what matters.
Okay. It's harder to write a song about sort of metaphysical thought processes, but I'm up to the challenge. So, shall we dance?
Yes.
Patience, ogre, and the fawn, dancing softly on the lawn. All the birds sing up above. Perhaps we friends can feel the love. Is that a good start?
That's a great start.
Okay. So look, we're on our way.
Awesome.
Well, wait, we actually don't know what we should go. We are on an adventure, but none of us knows where we are.
I just meant we're on our way to getting to know each other better. We're already in a song together. I think that binds us pretty officially, don't you?
I've never
People
been
don't
in
write
a
songs
song.
about people who aren't bonded together.
Oh, I guess so. Then you are also in an adventure with us.
Exactly. But
Delightful.
I've seen all the things at this carnival many times, and while the dance battle does draw me back in every time, I wouldn't mind seeing something else. Are you going somewhere?
We just need to figure out where. Is there any place you want to see?
Oh, I want to see everywhere. How will you know what the best place is until you get there?
Oh, so true.
Awesome. Right, I'm going to call another quick 5-minute break there, and then we will come back and explore the world further. Awesome. Right. So I think on making your exit from the circus, you head along the road a little bit further, and you finally reach the tea house you saw before. As I say, it's a quaint old half-timbered cottage with like a big colourful teapot hanging down from the sign, and in the there's a big garden as well at the back with lots of tables set up for tea. There is a figure. There's a person who's wheeling around a big one of those big old-fashioned wooden trolleys with various cakes and sandwiches and odd bubbling pots of liquid on them, distributing to various patrons. So there's a few different people sat around at the tables, including one gentleman in a sort of the classic khaki top and shorts and a big pith helmet and impressive moustache. As you approach, the person serving will look up and say, a table for 3, I presume?
So I want to go merry-go-round and give the girl to Einar. Yeah.
Yes, we are 3. No, we are 4.
Is this a riddle? Ersyniess asks patience. Because it sounds like a riddle.
Oh. Yes. Yes. How many seats? How is the table is set for 3, but yet 4 enjoy their tea. Who is the company?
Oh, that must be a very good riddle because I cannot think of a solution.
Of course, there's 3 fairies and the changeling, and of course one of the fairies was one of the changelings. No, 3 humans and the changeling, because one of the humans was switched out by the changeling, and the human is enjoying tea elsewhere. Oh, that's sad. Oh no. I'll work harder and get you a better riddle.
Well,
you're muted, girl.
Why do I bother? All right. Do I want to repeat anything I've said so far? I don't know. Sure. Can we go back a moment or a little rewind? What's a human?
Me! I'm a human. No, wait, I'm not a human. I'm a Sphinx, right? Or maybe that was the
you said
riddle
you were the
alone.
last of your time, your kind of the Sphinxes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Sphinxes
So you
are
must be a
humans, right?
Sphinx.
Can I not be a Sphinx and a human?
I think your grasp of riddles is weird.
I
think
told
they're
you.
supposed to have real answers.
I don't know. It was stolen from me, my ability to make riddles.
Well, maybe we can
Don't
find
bully
it.
me.
Maybe we can find it somewhere and put it back.
Please.
Well, my dears, you can honestly be whatever you want to be, but please do take a seat.
I guess I'll never know what a human is, officially. But in any case, I think the answer, if there are 4 spots and we can only see 3 things, the obvious answer is that the 4th person is invisible.
Invisible.
Now that is a riddle I can get behind. And Ersyniess sits down, making sure that one of the seats is left for someone invisible.
And now if they show up, we'll know because they might pick up a cup, or they could say something. And we won't have offended them, because we will have left a chair.
That sounds excellent. It's good not to offend anybody.
Well, it's good not to offend anyone for no reason, certainly. Every once in a while, I think it's okay to offend somebody. What if they say that good things are offensive? You can't not do good things.
But how do
You
you
have a
know
point,
what is good?
They really did steal your riddles, didn't they?
Don't riddle shame me.
I'm not. I'm saying we should go get them.
Yes, please.
Should we? Where do you think we'll find them? Do you think we'll find them here?
I don't know. I don't remember seeing any riddle thieves, but I wasn't really on the lookout.
I remember something that was done with tea leaves, but I don't think it was riddles. I think it was something else.
Like a
And,
spell. Probably a magic spell.
Maybe a magical spell. And Ersyniess starts poking inside the teacup, trying to figure out what was happening.
Well, I think we should enjoy the tea, and if they have a bit of clotted cream and some nice scones, we should probably get some of those too while we're here. Maybe a cucumber sandwich or two, just to complete the experience. And then we should go find some sort of wizard, and that will restore all of Ersynius's riddles.
I don't know. I don't like the idea of wizards.
Maybe we can just cast the spell ourselves. You said
How are you a
we could
magician?
do it with some tea. No, maybe I'm a magician. I could be a magician.
All right.
So we just need some tea, and it probably can't hurt to have some biscuits and some cream and some grapes. I would like some grapes, actually.
Maybe a bit of jam. I do love jam.
Some jam, yes. And we'll make the spell right here on the table.
Good thinking. We're in a tea house. What better place to make a tea spell?
So, my dears, who would you like to be today?
I would like to be the person who figures out how to give the riddles back to Ersyniess.
Some sort of scholar, maybe.
That sounds very official and dignified. I'll take it.
Certainly, and they make a note down in their little order book. And
Come now, friends. Let's not keep this lovely person waiting.
Well, I would like to be someone who can do as she likes and not get bossed around.
That's rather a tall order, that one. I could give it some thought, certainly.
I want to be like...
Maybe something in a queen or a princess.
No, I don't want to be a queen.
The queens and princesses I've known.
Have you known queens and princesses?
Well, of course I have. I've been many places, you know. But queens and princesses have all of these duties and things that they have to do. The people who are really free are the wanderers, like me.
Oh, I would like to be a wanderer then.
Perfect. So I'll be a scholar, you'll be a wanderer, and Ersyniess?
I want to be like the great sphinxes of old, imperious and wise, and surveying everything from the skies. And whenever someone was on distress, I could just swoop in. and take them where they need to be. That's what I want to be. I want to be great.
Seagull?
A seagull? Have you ever met a seagull? What is there of greatness on a seagull?
I knew a lovely seagull once.
Sure, they are lovely. Sure, I know nothing about any birds, but all they can talk about is fish and eat. They are very selfish creatures.
I don't know. I met one who was very silly and thought I could use a fork to comb my hair. And it did work, really, but not quite as well as other things. But he meant very well.
I have combed my hair
Perhaps
with
you
a
should
fork
give them
once.
another look. Right?
It does work.
Ingenuity right there.
What is a fork?
We'll just look down at the table. There's one right there.
Uh,
I'm pointing at a specific fork.
um,
Milo, hush.
Ersyniess sniffs at it. What do you use it for? Well, I guess for a hair. Oh, no, of course not. That stupid idea of a seagull.
Have you been injured in some way? You seem so very cross with so very many things. Do you need a hug?
Yes, please.
I will give you a hug. And Ember leaps out of her chair and does like a double flip in the air and lands on top of you and just wraps all of her limbs around you.
Oh, you are warm, just like my mane. It's nice.
A good fit indeed. Would you like to hug us? Patience?
Yes, I would love to. Can we hug all three of us?
Yes, of course. Here, come in on this side.
Yes. Oh, what a nice feeling.
Isn't it? Maybe this is the tea magic.
Yes, it's part of the spell. It's powered by hugs.
I think so. I feel more scholarly already.
Yes, and I feel I can do whatever I want.
Which, as far as I know, is true. So that's two of us. Maybe your part just takes a bit longer, unless you have a riddle, Ersyniess?
What is warm and has many arms?
Why, a three-being hug.
A friend. And they intensified the hug.
That's lovely. I think we're the best traveling party ever.
That was a good riddle.
I think so too. I think we've done our tea magic and we didn't even need the tea.
We can drink it. Even better.
That's good. I am a little bit thirsty.
And we can eat the biscuits and the jam.
I'm going to put on my most scholarly look. Would either of you like some milk or sugar for your tea?
Oh yes, yes, please. But I want my milk outside my tea.
All right.
Just
One
right
lump or two
outside.
for the sugar.
I want jam instead of sugar.
All right. I take a scoop of the jam, put it right in your tea, and then you wanted the milk right outside the tea?
Yes.
And I'm going to pour some milk into the saucer on which your teacup is resting. I think that's about as close as it can get.
I did exactly what I wanted to do. This feels great.
I think we should keep this tea magic even as we travel. It appears to be very effective. But we should finish up and get going. We never know what we're missing when we stay in one place.
That is true. I can feel my wandering spirit calling.
Well, I have 2 more bites of this delightful scone, and then we should be off. And you should lead the way, I think, because you're the wanderer now.
Yes. I can lead the way. I think I can already feel something. There's like there's something on the air. It feels like we need to go there. Maybe.
That's the instinct of the wanderer. We'd best not ignore it.
Yeah.
Onward, our fearless leader.
Oh, and she stops because there's like an immaculate lawn with a sign. It's like, no, don't walk on the grass. And she hesitates a little bit.
What are you afraid of?
This we're not supposed to go on the grass. It's says so on the sign.
Why are you afraid of a sign? I can easily topple it over. See?
But that's cheating.
I have a different
Isn't
question
it?
for you. Do you actually
Yes?
want to walk on the grass, or do you just want to not be told to not walk on the grass? Like, do you desire it actively?
I want to go there, go beyond the grass, and it looks like that's the path my wanderer sense is telling me to go.
As you wish. I would like to roll as you wish. And I'm going to try to change the sign into one that says, by all means, please walk upon the grass. So it's just the 2d6s, right?
That's right, yep.
Okay. So that's a 9. And if you would like, you may re-roll and add 1 to the total. Einara specifically.
Yeah. So is that like
I don't know if it matters because I don't
anything?
see a 10 plus thing on the move.
Oh.
Let me check the character keeper in case it's different from what I have. Yeah, no, it's sort of a 7 plus. There's no. David, do you know this? It says sort of 7 plus. You do this on a 7 to 9, blah, but it doesn't say anything about a 10 plus.
No, that's right. Yeah.
So I don't think there's any point in you rolling because I've already hit a 9, and it doesn't seem to matter whether we get to 10.
Yeah, that move is only really useful for like helping people do things. So if the girl isn't actually taking an action,
well, we've established that the power of hugs helps magic. So if we needed a 10 plus, I might have asked for a hug, but it seems like we don't. In this particular game.
Yeah. Well,
all
yeah,
right.
no, because I think the move doesn't really achieve anything at the moment because it's just because there's no roll to assist with.
Oh, it says it is
okay,
on my sheet. I'm sorry.
So it, but so the way to do this is, I think I might angle for what was it called? Refuse to mind my manners and trying to cheat.
Yeah.
But
yeah, there's not really a challenge to overcome here, I don't think. So it's not
all right.
I have slightly different moves that I printed out. I'm realizing they're from the Kickstarter PDF that I got than what's in the character keeper. So I should be watching the character keeper and not what I printed.
Right. Yeah. That might explain the yes. Because so you'll notice. I think on On the character, I think for each of the characters actually it's the same. Essentially, the first move you get is specifically about assisting the girl with an action that she is doing. So it's those ones sort of kick off like, if you're trying to help when the girl is doing something, but if the girl's not actually making a roll, those ones don't really come into play. But yes, they may well have changed from the initial Kickstarter things. That's fine. Cool.
What I'm trying to do is enable her to not be controlled by the sign and to do what she wants, which is to go beyond the grass.
Yeah, but there isn't anything physically stopping her from. There isn't a challenge here. She can just walk on the grass if she wants. It's not.
So moral
there is no
challenges
magical,
are not. They don't
compulsion
count.
Affected by the sign. It's yeah.
Okay, I thought the list of whatever they are manners were like sort of obstacles to be overcome. All right.
Not exactly. No, they're about. You might need to break a manner to overcome an obstacle, but they themselves aren't obstacles, if that makes sense.
Sure. Well, then I will not magically transform the sign. But I'm going to start charging across the grass. Because if our wanderer says that where we need to go is beyond the grass, no sign is going to stop me. So they can do whatever they want. But Ember is heading off. Skipping, no less.
Cool.
So I'll just take a deep breath and run after.
Sure thing.
As you catch up, I say, "Oh, good, I missed you," even though it's only been like 10 seconds. Ersyniess, are you following us? Are you staying back?
Yeah, she's hovering over the grass.
So
In a
I'd like
moving
to.
or just... Sorry, I don't understand where you are positioned relative to us.
I'm following. It's not that important.
What is if I'm going to talk to you and you can't hear me? But okay.
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay.
I'm going to share a merry-go-round to Pearl. That's okay.
Absolutely. So in that case, we now have Braglaga back, right? And what is Braglaga doing on our traipse across the grass?
I think you just see like in the distance there's this thing that it looks like a mountain range in the distance, but then it stands up, and it's Braglaga.
I'm gonna call out
Hello.
then. Braglaga! How lovely to see you, and how clever of you to be a mountain.
Oh, thank you. I thought I would go try on one of those mountains that I have always wanted to try on. I got the courage to do it after you showed me how to dance earlier. Oh, you're muted.
I'm gonna rip off my own face. That's wonderful. I thought you made a splendid mountain.
Oh, I've always wanted to be mountain. I've only ever eaten mountains before.
Goodness, I can't imagine eating a whole mountain. Maybe a
Oh,
hill. No, probably not even that. But
you make your
I,
mouth awfully dry.
yeah, it's probably all the dirt. But if you're not eating a mountain, I would say you might have been the loveliest mountain I ever saw.
Oh, that is probably the nicest thing anyone has ever said to me.
Well, I'm
Uh,
glad. I hope
or-
you'll join us now that you're done being a mountain for the moment. Uh, I've become a wanderer through the magic of hugs and tea, maybe. And Ember's a scholar, and Ersyniess is some sort of either Sphinx or seagull or both. I'm not really sure. But in any
oh,
case, we're off to the next adventure, and my wanderer sense says it's beyond this grass.
this grass. Oh, it's so neat. Um, I always step step across it because it says not to step on it.
I know, but not all of us have legs as long as you.
No, that's true. Maybe the sign is only for ogres. Because I would understand if the grass, if I stepped on the grass, it might just vanish down into the earth.
That seems like a perfectly logical conclusion to me, but I'm not the scholar in the party, so, you know.
That's that's very nice that we have a scholar.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Because I don't know much about this place at all. Do you know what's on the other side of the grass? I have the sense that we should go there, but I don't really know what we're going towards.
Mm, there was a mountain, but I
There was.
guess that's on my back now.
Might come in handy. I think you should keep it. You never
Yes,
know when you'll need a mountain.
in case you want to climb it, or in case we get hungry. Uh,
All kinds of things. Uh, Ersyniess, do you know what's on the other side of the grass?
Okay, so I'm gonna do back to yesterday to see if I can what the legends my people told about that. So that's 12. So how does your story predict what happens next? Oh, beyond the grass there is a vast desert full of great buildings that once were guarded by my people. Dangerous places full of secrets that we did not want to fall in the hands of those unprepared.
And did they?
They did what?
Did the secrets fall into the wrong hands?
No, we performed our duty with great devotion. We
Well, then it must
kept
be a
them
wonderful place
safe.
now, if
Well,
you've saved
the
it.
secrets should be there still. Maybe you can find what you seek, girl.
I think she said her name was. No, it's me now. The name's Patience. If I haven't introduced myself properly, I'm sorry. That would be very rude.
Robert, you
Um,
are a girl, right?
yes, I'm a human girl. I'm
Yeah.
glad that's finally settled. This has been a very confusing day otherwise.
Well, Ember seemed confused about what was a human, so I
But
think for some of us it might still not be clarified.
that's why I'm clarifying it. I am a human girl named Patience. And you are a sea sphinx, as far as I can tell.
I do love the sea.
See, and there we go. Meanwhile, we must continue crossing the grass.
should I help you cross the grass? I could pick you up, put you on the other side.
That would be perfect. It would save us a lot of time, and we wouldn't have to go against the sign. It might be there for a good reason. I think rules shouldn't be followed blindly, but also, you have to use your judgment, but we don't know why that rule was there. As
That
you
is
said, it might
true.
be so things don't get trampled.
That is true.
Would you mind giving us a lift?
No, not at all. Do you want to sit in my hand or on my back?
I think in your hand sounds nice. Cozy, really.
It is. I've been told it's quite soft by some seagulls I met.
See, I told you seagulls were lovely. Or someone said seagulls were lovely. I've lost track. Ersyniess, do you want to get a hand as well, or is your hovering, floating thing enough, do you think?
No, it's fine. I can just rest in a while among the birds and then go back again to the air.
Okay. So I'm going to climb into Braglaga's hand and sort of sit cross-legged and curl up.
Oh, maybe, maybe, uh, maybe you could sing for me while I'm
Sure.
carrying you.
I'm sure I could think of something. What would you like me to sing about? The grass or?
Oh yes, please sing about the tea magic and
Oh, goodness.
how it uh, changed you all into different things.
All right. Well, you'll have to give me a minute to remember. So Ember turned into a scholar, and I turned into a wanderer. And Ersyniess turned into a sea sphinx, which sounds
Sea
hard to
Sphinx.
rhyme, so I'd better put it early in the verse. What were you before? Just a sphinx, and now you're a sea sphinx? I want
No,
accuracy.
I'm just a failure of a sphinx, unfortunately.
Hmm. All right. Who was lost, thought adventure, drink some tea. Was that all right?
Oh no, I think I lost it in there was some connectivity issues.
Oh dear, I sang a song just for you. There will be more opportunities for song. I don't even know if it
I'm
was a
sure
good
it was
song.
very, very lovely, but there was a seagull uh decided to sit in my ear.
Well, you do
There's
have a
a
very
whole
inviting.
family.
I mean,
Yes,
with the nests in the mountains, you can't really blame them.
it is true. There's a lot of birds inside my ears.
It is very nice. It means that we're accompanied by birdsong wherever we go.
Yes, yes, it does, doesn't it?
It does.
Um,
And look, while we've had this conversation, we've crossed the grass.
what? There's what's
And I'm going
what's
to
here?
pass the book on. If I can figure
So
out.
yeah, you will cross the grass, and you do indeed reach the edge of a desert, which has towering dunes and shifting sands. And as you reach the edge of the desert, you notice an old ship that is perched on the rolling sands. There appears to be all sorts of activity aboard it. It looks like it's actually the accretion of various parts of ships from throughout history, crudely lashed together to form a makeshift vessel.
Neat. So I'm merry-go-rounding to Ludo.
Okay. So, do you think we should go explore this place, or it is one of the dangerous secret places that Ersyniess was talking about?
Well, I think you're the wanderer, so navigation falls to you. You were called across the grasses, so where are you called to next?
Well, let's go into the pirate ship. I always curious about pirates. They seem to do whatever they want, and I never saw a pirate that was worried about the clock.
Sounds good to me.
Pirates?
Now, my scholarly brain tells me that we may find some treasure. So let's be on the lookout, because there are many kinds of treasure, and it's easy to overlook them, I think.
But
Shall we away?
But how will we make our way to the pirate ship?
Is it not accessible? Did I misunderstand, David?
No, you can. It's like moored essentially at the edge of the desert.
I think we just climb aboard. And I spring up onto a rope of some sort and clamber up. And then I'm going to further clamber up to the crow's nest and say, "What ho, friends!"
Yeah, so on the deck of the ship, we can take just a couple of minute break.
Just to make sure everything's all right for Einar. I hope everything's all right. Such a nice backdrop. Is everything all right?
Yeah, I think so. It was just a loud noise and some people shouting. So.
Better safe than sorry. So we declared just a short break to let whatever happened happen, and now here we are. So yes, from the crow's nest. What ho, friends!
So yeah, there is. You'll notice on the deck of the ship, there's various people in a motley collection of uniforms, doing all sorts of ship type activities, mostly involving ropes. You will notice a clearly commanding presence on the deck. There is a camel wearing a large admiral's hat with impressive feathers sticking out of it, and fraying gold epaulets on a white jacket. Who appears to be barking out orders to the crew.
Since I'm on the ship
Hello.
already. Go ahead. Sorry.
Hello. Where are you going? Can we travel with you?
I am going on a voyage far across the great expanse of sand, but 'tis no place for a girl aboard a ship like this.
Well, why would being a girl matter? I'm a fawn.
'Tis terribly bad luck, so it is said.
That sounds like hodgepodge, and I should know because I'm a scholar.
That's true. She is a scholar.
That is
Anyway.
old wisdom of the desert.
I'm
That
going
a
to
girl
sort of,
aboard a ship brings awful catastrophes.
I'm going to come down from the crow's nest in like a series of acrobatic ridiculousness until I'm like nose to nose with the camel. And I will say, you know, for someone with such an ostentatious hat, you speak with much authority. No offense intended. I really quite enjoy ostentatious hats. I'm just saying.
Well, you could probably come aboard our ship if you wish, but the girl must remain ashore.
But Patience is a wanderer. Her instincts lead to all the best places.
Well, but it seems they are not wandering too much. I think they are stuck in their ways just as they are stuck in the sand.
And if what about me? Do you think I could fit on your ship? Well, Patience has to. What about me? Does I'm far too big for your ship. It will crash immediately if I can go on board. So I think you have uh, there's bigger problems to worry about. Literally.
Braglaga, we need to
Yeah.
get across the sand. And they want to get across the sand. Could you just lift up the ship and put it on the other side of the sand? And then pick up Patience and I at the same time, and then we'd all be there.
Well,
Unless Patience, are you getting any other wandery feelings?
I could first pick you up and put you on the other side, but wouldn't that kind of defeat the purpose of traveling?
This is also a desert the size of a sea, so it's not really something that you could just
No, the desert is it's so large. I could try. I could try. And you see
Well,
Braglaga just stretching her hand as far as it goes, but and it goes pretty far, but then she sort of trips and falls, um, and just plants their head straight and their face straight down in the sand, and all the sand sticks to
Braglaga?
and you will actually feel yourself starting to sink into the sand. It's really deep and soft, and it will. Yes, you will essentially find yourself sinking into the sand.
Everyone, I think the sand is doing something to me. I'm sinking. I'm not sure I can get up.
Okay, as curiouser, I want to ask, what is beneath this soft sinking sand?
Sure. So I'm just checking on the move. Yes. Yes. So I think if yeah, I think that the peculiar activity here will be to quite literally just dive into the sand yourself and swim around in it.
That sounds like an adventure.
Well, I don't know. I'm still upset about those camels. I really cross that even in this world I'm treated like this.
Well, I'm a little bit more concerned about Braglaga sinking into the sand and being lost.
Well,
So,
Braglaga, can you step out? Or is it stronger than you?
Um, um, I'm trying to save the birds. It's, I have to
The
save all
birds
of the
can
birds.
fly, fly.
Braglaga,
Yes.
I do have a bit of shape-shifting magic. Perhaps I could
Oh,
teach you.
nonsense! And Patience loses her patience and wastes no time. And she throws herself into the sand and starts digging out Praglava, even if girls should not get themselves dirty.
Certainly. Yes. So roll. Just roll 2d6.
And a 6. So how about those helping moves?
Which one did you? What move did you take? Refuse to mind your manners?
Yep.
Yeah,
I don't see a helping move attached to it.
everyone has a helping move. Every companion.
Right. Um, but the only one that's listed on my sheet is that the girl can help me with as you wish. I don't see a normal helping move. I was going to offer the most helpful move I thought I could, but then you jumped into the sand, and now I don't know if I can offer it to both of you. David?
Well, if you offer to grant a wish for the girl, then yeah, you can roll with as you wish.
Okay. That was not what I was going to do, but I will do it. And then I guess if I get a 7+, then Patience can reroll and add 1 to the total.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So I get a 10. So that means that your wish is granted, and I assume you were wishing that you and Braglaga would be out of the sand.
Yeah, that's the thing. She just starts. She's struggling with the sand. Oh, I just wish Braglaga could got free. It was a foolish idea for me to telling you to do it. I'm sorry, Braglaga. So I get to reroll and add 1 to it.
Yeah, that's right.
So an 11.
Nice. Yep. So yes, how does you overcoming the challenge look?
So because of her small size, she can actually dig around faster than the sands can suck her in. And the moment that the magic of Ember strikes the sand, it seems that the sand just parts away, and she just is able to hug Braglaga, and then Braglaga can on his own get free.
Cool. Yeah, and you get to rewrite. You get to strike out. Young ladies must never soil their hands or clothes, and write in a new belief.
I'm gonna say that he, a determined young lady can work on anything.
Sure thing.
So I guess after rolling, I should merry-go around,
Yeah, you certainly can. Yeah.
and I'm gonna do it to Einar.
Oh, ah, that was quite exciting, wasn't it?
It was certainly an adventure. Are you all right, Braglaga?
I was so worried about Braglaga.
Yes.
All right. Braglaga isn't Braglaga at the moment. Sorry.
Mm.
Apologies.
Now you are saying something about the camels.
Should we need to, maybe we should just sneak aboard their ship? They didn't seem to be all that nice.
Yeah.
That's against the
So-
rules. It's not. That sounds a bit like cheating.
I mean-
I guess, but there are, there are limits to what can tell you to do, right? When they tell me that I can't go on their ship just because I'm a girl, that's stupid.
Yeah, they are very angry. I'm pretty sure that it was through cheating that someone stole my riddles, because there's no way someone could beat me on a proper match. But I think on these circumstances, I can help your shit. I can give a distraction.
Really?
I mean, look at me.
Well,
And they start beating their all wings. If I fly around the ship, I'm pretty sure everyone will had their eyes on me.
awesome.
Yeah. Are you going for a move there, Ludo, or just?
Yeah, I'm gonna use Behold Majesty in the hope of creating a distraction.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds good.
And I got a 6. So who gets angry at me?
Yeah. So. Yeah. So I think what happens is as you're flying around the ship, the a lot of the crewmen are watching you, amazed and astonished with your majesty. But this kind of distracts them, and they start dropping ropes and getting bits and pieces tangled up, and the captain yells out, avast ye, skylubber! Enough of your scallywagon and general skullduggery. I think what happens is some of the crew members cast up a net and catch you in it. But whilst this doesn't exactly go the way you wanted, it is still a fairly convincing distraction. So if you wish to sneak aboard the ship, Patience, you can certainly try to do so. I think you've probably got a couple of options here, but based on what we were both saying just now. You could probably concoct some sort of way of getting in by cheating your way aboard the ship, however you see fit to do so, and break one of your manners. Or if you think you could try and what do you call it? Not embody your beliefs. Stand strong in your convictions, and rely on beliefs that you've already created to sort of do this, which. And basically, the way this one works is for each belief you think you can get to apply to what you're doing, you get to add an extra d6 to the roll. You're starting off with 1d6. And then you basically roll them all and take the 2 highest dice to determine the outcome of it.
Yeah, kind of like just sneaking aboard right now. So unless we want to see more of the moves at play.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think you could probably, in this case, you could probably call either it stands strong your conviction to refuse to manage your manners to sneak aboard. But yeah, it's whichever way approach you prefer, really.
I'll go for the.
Yeah,
I'd like to strike out the cheating one.
Sure thing.
It's okay if I roll with the real dice. I have got the.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Okay. 4. So. Yeah, right. It's a 4.
Right. So on a 4, what part of your rebellion? So you will still manage to get onto the ship. But what part of your rebellion is misunderstood here? Do you think? And that misunderstanding can even be your own if you choose it. It might be that you, however you see it, kind of working.
Well, maybe it's maybe Patience believes that this she's sort of doing this for the group and for because everyone all of us agreed that we need to complete this this wandering and the other someone will misunderstand that or think that she only she just really wanted to go on the pirate ship, so it's a sort of selfish thing.
Sure thing. But yeah, you still obviously get to write in a belief though, related to your related to what you learn.
So no, some rules are made to be broken.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Nice. Right. Right. Yes. So we are at 10 o'clock now. I think I probably am going to call it, or at least I think I'm going to begin like the words, the epilogue phase now, just because I'm feeling a bit under the weather myself. So I will probably, I'd rather finish sooner than later. So sorry about that. I would probably have extended a little longer, but if people could do it, but I think I'll just begin the epilogue phase now. We can kind of assume you have a fantastic journey across the desert sands, and whereupon you find an ancient reliquary of lost knowledge or stolen knowledge, with which you can help restore the Sphinx's riddles, and so on and so forth. And then the way that we do this next bit is that we I'm just going to flick through it. Sorry. So yeah, for the epilogue, the first thing we do is each each player gets to say the last thing that the girl says to their companion and what their companion does in turn, and like possibly a little glimpse into their companion's future in this world once the girl returns to the real world. So anyone who wishes to go first may do so.
So I guess we see the girl with Ersyniess, and the girl whispers something in the ear of Ersyniess, and Ersyniess nods. And she told her the truth that existence itself, life itself, is the biggest riddle, and nobody really stole from her the capacity to make riddles. She just got disconnected from her purpose to serve as a guide to the lost, and that eroded her confidence and reduced her to a shadow of her former people. So we see her leaving a pensive Ersyniess, and then Ersyniess they just fly towards the sun, looking forward to their stories with whoever hapless soul might need them.
Nice.
Patience is telling Braglaga about everything that it's possible to do if you just you can really do anything. You can just be who you want to be because you're amazing. You can wear mountains. You can wear trees, houses. It's completely amazing. And if all the other ogres, if they really were able to see you, maybe they would get inspired and start to wear their own mountains. And Braglaga goes off and creates their own mountain forest shop of fashion.
Nice.
I think Ember got lost like pretty early on in the rest of the journey, but assumed she would find everyone again, and she's still looking for them, quite cheerfully. She just assumes she'll find them eventually, and in the meantime, she's having all sorts of adventures, and can't wait to tell her friends about them when they're reunited.
That's excellent. Sorry. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. So finally, we have an epilogue for Patience herself. We do this similar thing. You each just get to do a quick little scene. However, in this, you should take one of the girl's beliefs and narrate a short scene showing how the girl uses that belief in her real life outside the underground, either immediately afterwards or at any point in the future, however you see fit. So yeah, I'll. Ina, do you want to go first, or if anyone else wants to jump in, then go. Feel free.
Sure. So we see Patience sneaking into the sort of tool closet and just fixing the faucet herself using YouTube videos and stuff like that. Yeah.
Nice.
we see Patience. We see Patience ignoring requests from their mother and spending less time on the computer and more time learning things and doing other things, as she realizes that as long as she still seems to be doing anything, and it actually punishing her is spending more time than just telling her what to do. Nobody's really getting her in troubles, so she becomes more independent, and soon she starts to actually uh, take on extracurricular activities on her own without the surveillance and demanding the time of their parents, finding their own path.
Nice.
Which belief is left?
Oh,
You're
Sorry.
supposed to use her beliefs, right?
Yeah, I think the one left is the rules. Some rules must be broken.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Although you can use one that's already been used as well if you want. I don't think it specifically has to be a different one. But yeah.
I think she holds on to a determined young lady can work on anything and just changes it to you can work on anything. It doesn't have to be a young lady. And you see her in her 80s running a tea shop and giving hugs to everyone who comes in, just in case.
Lovely. That's brilliant. Thank you very much, everyone. And yeah, sorry, I had to kind of compress things a little bit at the end there, but he said this